Good morning, students. This is Asha, your social science teacher. So, I'm here with part 3 lecture of your chapter 1 History Tracing the Changes Through Past. Yesterday, we studied about manuscripts and technological changes which came in medieval period. We studied about spinning wheel, Persian wheel, firearm combat, and agricultural changes which took place in India. So, today we'll start with the new change which came in groups. New groups came into existence in India. Earlier, we had a Varna system and we had four Varnas. One was Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudras. But in medieval period, we say that lot of new groups came into existence. One of them was Rajput, Sikh, Ahom, Kayast, Jat, Maratha. All these were the new group of people which came into existence in medieval period. Rajput, as the name suggests, it's Rajputra, means a child or a son of a Raja. So, Rajputs were mainly rulers, soldiers, fighters, and they were famous for their bravery, valor, and respect for women. During 15th or 16th century, we see a emergence of a new group, Sikh, and during that time, Maratha also became very powerful. We see an emergence of a group called Jats and Ahom, which was originally a tribe, becomes a powerful kingdom. They form a powerful kingdom. So in medieval period, we see all these new groups coming into existence. Medieval period saw change in agriculture pattern as well. The agriculture was extended to larger area, and for that purpose forest was cleared. Forest were cleared and that particular forest area was used for agriculture. Forest dwellers or tribals, people were forced to migrate to other area. As I told you, forest was clear for agriculture. Now the people who lived in forest, they have to move some other place. So they moved to cities and villages and they became peasants. Mainly they used to till land. The big farmers, they used to keep laborers to till their land. So these tribal people started tilling their land. There was lot of movement of people from village to cities. In medieval period, this was also one of the big thing which we see. There were huge towns developed like Hampi, Masolipatnam, Surat. They become really big towns, and they were towns like for trade, for pilgrimage, for temple. So emergence of these new towns due to trade, temple, pilgrimage led the movement of people. So many people from village to move to cities. So for different purpose, be it trade or anything, in medieval period we see lot of people movement from village to cities. This is also one of the change which we see in medieval period. The next change which we see is emergence of jatis. We discussed about varna system, right? But besides this varna, we do see a new term came into existence in medieval period, and that was jatis. So let's try and understand what exactly this jati was. Jati was actually a subcaste, referred to grouping and ranking of people on the basis of their background and occupation. On the basis of people background and occupation, jatis were formed. Originally, even the Varna system was formed on the basis of individual work, right? But later on, it became hierarchical. A person born in Brahmin family was called Brahmin, but earlier it was associated with the kind of work person was doing. Now let's come back to jati. Rank or status kept changing in different area over time and period. So jati's rank, high or low, it kept changing in different area based on power and influence. Suppose in particular region, a particular jati is more power, is a ruling community, then that was more powerful. Whichever jati has power, it had more influence. Like Ahoms were tribal, but they were able to form a big kingdom. In the same way, Gond was a tribal, but they formed a very big Gond kingdom. And in medieval period, we see many rulers who were not Kshatriya, because generally in ancient period, what you have studies, Kshatriya were the rulers or fighters or soldiers. But in medieval period, we see many kingdoms whose ruler were not Kshatriya. That's also a change which we see in medieval period. And these jatis form their own rules and regulation to manage their conduct of their member. So they had their specific rules and regulation for jati. These regulations were enforced by assembly of elders known as jati panchayat. So these jatis have their own rule, and there was member of assembly who made sure that these rules are enforced. Jatis were also required to follow rules and regulation. So all these jati member have to follow these rules and regulation. So this was all about jati which came into existence in medieval period. Now let's move on to the next topic, which is changes in new regions and empire. So in medieval period we do see new empire which came into existence. An empire spanning diverse regions is known as pan-regional empire. So what exactly pan-regional is? An empire which stretches over a long region or a big region. So in medieval period, we do see that there were some empires whose area was very vast, like Cholas. Cholas ruled whole of South India. In fact, their association was called Chola Mandala. Mughals who ruled from north till south, and Tughlaqs also had a huge area on which they ruled. Khaljis, even they ruled on all over India. Their rule was not confined to one particular area, but it spanned across the regions. So they were known as pan-regional empires. Let's move on to the next topic, which is religion. So in medieval period, we do see changes in religious format also. In ancient period, you must have studied about Hinduism, Jain, Baudd, but in medieval period, we see a new religion came into India, and that was Islam. An idea of bhakti also emerged in this period. Hinduism, what change exactly we see in Hinduism? Hinduism, people started worshipping new gods. New gods were worshipped in this Hinduism, and importance of Brahmin also increased in society. So we do see changes in Hinduism as well in medieval period, plus Islam, which was a new religion, and idea of bhakti, which was something new, which came in medieval period. It emerged in this age, which emphasized on fact that devotees can reach their deity without the help of any priest and rituals. So, this was the idea of bhakti. A devotee can reach God without the help of priest or any kind of ritual. That was something new which came in medieval period. Zoroastrianism. it was also new, and it came in India during medieval period only. And Islam, merchants and migrants spreads the teachings of Quran. There was a lot of trade from west in medieval period with India. So from west, merchants and migrants brought a religion with them, Islam, and many rulers patronized Islam and ulema during their rule. Prophet Muhammad started Islam. Later, Islam was divided into two sects, that was Shia and Sunni. Right? So, holy book of Islam is Quran, and after the death of Prophet Muhammad, there was a bit confusion who will be the legitimate ruler for people who followed Islam. So there were two beliefs. Shia people, people who believed Prophet Muhammad's son-in-law should be the legitimate leader of Muslim community, they became Shia, who accepted the authority of son-in-law of Prophet Muhammad, whose name was Ali. They accepted Ali as the ultimate leader of Muslim community. Besides there was one group of Muslims who believed the authority of early leaders, Khalifa. They accepted the authority of Khalifa. They were called Sunni. So Islam was further divided in this way, Shia and Sunni, and they have two different beliefs. Okay, children. So by this, we come to an end of this chapter. And let's recap what we studied today. We studied about emergence of new groups, Rajput, Sikh, Ahom, Kayas, Jat, Maratha. We studied changes